Hey friends! So today I'm actually going to be styling my lantern right here for Valentine's Day. So I figured I would show you guys what I'm going to do with it. If you guys have not made the lantern yet, I will actually post the link for the tutorial on how to make the Dollar Tree lantern, like this one right here. I use this every season. I style it differently at every season. But today I'm going to be putting this together for Valentine's Day. And so yeah, I'm going to show you all the supplies that you're going to need to do this style that I'm going to do on this lantern. The first thing I'm actually going to use is I'm going to use one of my red charger plates. This was from Christmas, and I'm going to use one of these as the base. Now, what I like about having my lantern, a lot of people glued their lantern to the original base that we had made, and I didn't do that with this one only because I like to be able to lift it up and put it on different bases. And I wanted to be able to change it out every season. I didn't want to have it strictly for Christmas like we originally made. So I'm going to be using this red charger plate, and this was from Christmas at the Dollar Tree. You can use any kind of a base that you want to use. I know I've used these plastic trays before. This was actually the original base that I used, and I actually glued the Christmas scene right to this, but I actually packed the Christmas scene away for the rest of the year. So but you can use pretty much any type of a base that you want. You don't even have to use a base if you want. If you wanted to just set this on the table and put some candles and stuff on the inside, you can do that too, and it's fine. But I'm actually going to use this round charger plate as my base. I'm going to use some of these heart doilies, these paper heart doilies from the Dollar Tree. I have 3 of these battery operated pillar lights, and these I got they were in a pack of 3, and I got those from Home Goods. They were only like $7, but I've used these a lot in my decorations. Then I've got a basket of stuff here that I'm going to use. I have 2 of these green berries. I believe that I used these in my Thanksgiving decor, but I pulled them out and I'm going to use them in this decor because I wanted to have some greenery underneath like the reds that I'm using. I'm also using a couple of picks of the red roses from the Dollar Tree. I've got one right here. I've got another one. So I've got 2 picks of the red roses, and these are stuck to everything. So 2 picks of the red roses. I've got them bent up because I was kind of playing around with them earlier. I also have some of these table scatters right here, and I'm going to be using some of those. I've got these little mini clothespins right here. I have some ribbon, which is this wide, I think it's, let's see, what size is this? I don't know. Well, 2.5 inch. It's 2.5 inch ribbon by 3 yards. So I actually have 2 of these. One I already pulled off the spool and is in the bottom of this basket, but I'm going to be using 2 of those. I've got some of these tinsel hearts that I pulled off of, they came on like a little pick like this one right here from the Dollar Tree. I ended up pulling a bunch of them off because I'm going to use them not on the original pick that they came on. I've got 3 of these tall long stem roses, and they're a pack of, there's 3 of them in a pack from the Dollar Tree, so I've got 3 of those. I also have these glitter hearts. The glitter hearts, they're like a cardboard heart almost, and these came from the Dollar Tree. I've got, what else do I have in here? Some scissors and some floral wire. And I think that is just about it. Oh, I also have a smaller thing of ribbon as well. Whoops. I have a smaller spool of ribbon right here. This is the small red ribbon with the white hearts, and it comes in 3 yards, and it's 5/8 of an inch wide. So I'm going to be using that as well. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start making some of these little, we're going to use these little table scatter foam hearts, and we're going to hot glue some of these to some of these little mini clothespins. Now I've got my hot glue gun heating up. I'm gonna take out a few of these. I'm probably going to be doing red. I don't think I'm gonna use any pink on this one. So I'm gonna actually just take out maybe 5 or 6 of each size. So I'm gonna stick some glue on the end of my clothespin, and I'm just gonna take one of the little hearts and just glue it right to the end of the clothespin so that it the clip part is at the bottom. So I'm going to just continue to do this with all of the little hearts that I have. Okay, so now I have all of my little hearts done and I just set them aside. So now I'm actually going to start working on the top of my lantern. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take 2 of my the green picks, or the green berry picks that I have, and I'm going to bend these at the top to make like a little hook, just like that. I'm going to do it for both of them, and I'm going to hook one of these little branches over the top of my lantern so that it cascades kind of down to one side. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other one. I'm going to make a hook, and I'm going to hook that so it cascades down like the other side of the lantern. So now I have 2 things of berries kind of cascading down the roof of the lantern. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my ribbon. Now this is the ribbon. I actually pulled all of the ribbon off the entire spool. This was the, I don't know, it's the 2.5-inch ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and there was 9 feet of it. So I pulled all of it off, and I ended up cutting about 6 feet of ribbon. So I had like 3 feet left, which I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with later. I cut about a 6-foot strip, and I cut the little forks in the end. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to use this to secure these 2 picks with berries right to the top of the lantern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath, or in between my roof panels, and I'm going to pull my ribbon up. Make sure it's about even, that I have an even amount on both sides, and I'm going to tie a knot. So I'm basically securing both of those pieces right to the top of the lantern. Okay? Just like that. Then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to create like the beginning of our bow. So I'm going to make a bow about, I'm thinking it's about maybe 10 to 12 inches I'm going to take, and I'm going to cinch it in a little bow like this, or cinch it in a little loop. And I'm going to take my other strand and I'm going to wrap it around, and just like I'm creating a regular bow like you would if you were tying your sneaker, and I'm going to pull that through the other side and make a bow. So now you've got just a regular basic bow at the top of your lantern, just like this. Now I'm going to widen that bow up just a little bit, or fluff it out just a little bit like that. And then I'm also going to take my ribbon, and I actually like to, I'm going to straighten it out here. I love using like ringlets in my ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of turn this in like a ringlet, much like I did on my Christmas tree tutorials. I'm going to make this into like a little ringlet, and I'm going to take that and kind of like wind it in and out of these twigs with the berries on it. I'm going to do the same to the other side. I'm going to create a ringlet or a little spiral, just like that. And then I'm going to take that little spiral and I'm going to kind of weave it in and behind like one of the twigs or one of the sticks, and then back around. So it kind of goes like, so the ribbon is kind of like going in and around some of these branches. So this is what you should have right now. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we are now going to take our 2 picks of roses. Now these are just the red roses that came from the Dollar Tree. They came in like a pick like this. And what I did was I'm gonna bend the end so that we've got a little loop on the end. And then I'm gonna bend the roses so that they're facing upwards. So you're almost making like a little hook, and then the roses are gonna be turned up. So I'm kind of doing something just like that so that they're scattered. Here's my little hook, and now they're facing upward. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little hook and I'm gonna hook it right down over my bow, or over the knot in my bow, and like down through the center of the bow. So the center of the bow, or the knot of the bow, is gonna hold that little hook in place. So it's just gonna sit kind of like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the other one. Bend it and kind of like bend the roses. You can play around with it however you like. So I'm just gonna put mine like that. You can kind of play around with how the roses are, you know, if you don't like, if one seems like it's popping up too high, you can bend it down so it sticks out a little bit lower. But just so that there's like a scattered group of roses coming all around the top of the lantern. Okay, so now what we're going to do, again, I'm going to take some of my ribbon here that I had kind of twisted around, and I'm going to just kind of pull it out and fluff it up a little bit so it kind of pokes through those roses a little bit better. We're going to be adding more ribbon to this. So, all right, the next thing we are going to do, we are now going to take our long stemmed roses that we have right here. And I'm gonna take them right out of the package. Now these long stem roses, they're held together by this little clip, or this little plastic piece. So you're gonna just pull that little plastic piece. That's what it looks like. You're gonna just pull that right off, and now you have 3 individual long stem roses. Now I find that these ones seem to be a little bit nicer quality than the ones that come on the picks that have like 5 or 6 roses. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this long stem and we're gonna literally bend it in half. Just like that, okay? So you've got your stem on one side and your rose on the other. Now we're gonna take those little tinsel hearts, and I pulled the little tinsel hearts off of the other pick of hearts. Those come on a little pick like this. And I just pulled all of the red ones off. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that little hole that you pulled them off with, and you're gonna stick it right on the end of your long stem rose. So now you've got like a little rose and a little heart together on one piece. So go ahead and do that for all of the roses that you have. I've actually done a few already. So I'm gonna finish up the ones I have. I think I have, because I bought 3 packages, so I had 9 altogether. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that right now. Now you can also vary the height. If you want to make the little heart a little higher than the rose, you can bend it so that the stick or the stem sticks up a little higher. And then you can put your little tinsel heart on like that. So now it sticks up a little higher than the rose. Like that. But as long as you have a heart on one side and a rose on the other, you're good to go. All right, so here's our little bow. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this wire on this bow, and I'm gonna place it in the center. I'm gonna place this little bow in the center of my other bow that I made. And I'm gonna just take that wire and kind of wrap it around the center of this bow. So now we're making like one bow out of the 2 pieces of ribbon. All right, so there we go. Now we've got a little bit of that pretty small ribbon wrapped in with the larger ribbon. Now we're going to take our wire from the larger ribbon and we're going to place it right down on top of our arrangement. And we're going to take the wire and go down underneath. And we're going to, again, just twist it underneath just to hold it in place. There. So now your ribbon is kind of just being held into place. And I'm going to just take those little pieces of the red ribbon and kind of just lay them down, and you can adjust wherever you need to adjust. You can fold and turn and fluff. And if you feel like you need to, you know, rearrange any of your flowers at all, you can go ahead and do that. There we go. Put this one over here. Okay, so now our arrangement is just about done. Now we're going to take those little clothespins that we made, and we're going to take these little clothespins and we're going to stick them in random spots throughout the whole arrangement. So you can stick them like on the stems, you can stick them on the ribbon itself. I'm just gonna kind of stick them like on some leaves. You just want to make sure wherever you're sticking them that they're standing upright so that you can see them. You can put them down inside a rose so that they're popping out from the center of your roses, if you want. Anywhere you want. All right, I'm just about done. I've got one more. I'm gonna put one more over on this side, I think. On one of these little twigs in the end. Okay. So there is our arrangement right there. Super pretty. So now what I'm going to do is, before I put this whole thing together, I am going to be bringing this downstairs. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on the inside of my lantern. So, before I put the lantern cover on, I'm going to take my red charger plate and I'm going to take 4 of the little white, there you go, 4 of the little white doilies, the paper doilies, and I'm going to just lay them out on my charger plate so that the heart is facing outward and the point is facing inward. So it looks like that. Then I'm going to take one of these hearts, and this is the medium size heart, and I'm going to place that right on the center, just like that. Now I'm going to take my candles and just arrange them right on top, just so a little bit of that red pokes out from underneath. So I'm keeping this really simple. Since the top of my lantern is so ornate, I'm keeping the bottom really simple. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to place the lantern right down on top, and then I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to bring it down and set it up, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so here it is. I decided to put it out in my formal living room on the coffee table because it is a bigger piece, and this coffee table is a good sized coffee table, but it is just stunning. As soon as you walk into my house, that's like the first thing you see when you first walk in. And I am loving this. It's just so pretty. The reds are they just pop. And the white candles are just really simple in there at the bottom. And at nighttime we can turn those candles on because they're the battery operated candles, so you don't have to worry about really having lit candles. But yeah, I think this came out so pretty. I am loving it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little how-to tutorial on how to style your lantern. And again, I will post in the description of this video the link for the video on how to make the lantern if you haven't yet done so. And yeah, so please make sure you subscribe to my channel and check out my Facebook page, The Pixie Dust Housewife. Make sure you guys give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Have a great weekend.